The first thing Leon learned about Princess Lyra was that she was terrible at hiding when she was about to do something reckless. The second thing he learned was that she always dragged him into it. "Faster," Lyra whispered. "We're already running." "Then run faster." "I'm a human, not a quantum engine." The two children sprinted through the glowing corridors of the royal palace, while alarms chirped somewhere behind them. Tiny cleaning drones floated in pursuit, their blue sensors flashing angrily. Technically, it wasn't their fault. Mostly, maybe. Leon glanced over his shoulder and immediately regretted it. 37 cleaning drones were following them. "Why are there more?" he shouted. Lyra laughed so hard, she nearly tripped over her own feet. Her long silver ears bounced as she ran. "Because you reprogrammed them. I only changed one command." Exactly. The command had been simple. Instead of cleaning dust, the drones now cleaned anything they considered untidy. Unfortunately, one drone had decided a royal banquet was untidy. The others agreed. The result had been catastrophic. Nobles from 6-star systems were currently being chased around a dining hall, while drones attempted to vacuum their ceremonial robes. Leon and Lyra burst into a garden filled with bioluminescent trees. The trees shimmered softly beneath the evening sky. Far above them, orbital mirrors reflected sunlight from the far side of the planet, painting the clouds with streaks of violet and gold. The world of Alindra always looked like something from a dream. Leon had lived there for nearly 6 years, long enough that the strange had become normal. Floating gardens? Normal. Artificial moons? Normal. Alien birds that could imitate computer passwords? Annoying, but normal. The drones finally lost track of them. Leon collapsed onto the grass. "I'm going to be executed." Lyra sat beside him. "You say that every week." "Because every week, you nearly get me executed." The young princess placed a hand dramatically against her chest. "You wound me." "I wish," she gasped. "Such violence." "You released military training robots into your father's conference room. They looked bored. They launched tactical simulations. They looked less bored afterward." Leon groaned. Sometimes he forgot Lyra was technically royalty. She never acted like it. At 12 years old, she preferred climbing palace walls, sneaking into restricted laboratories, and challenging security systems she wasn't supposed to know existed. Most importantly, she treated Leon like a normal friend. Not a foreign human, not an outsider, just Leon. For a while, neither spoke. They watched the stars emerge overhead. Hundreds of lights moved between them. Merchant vessels, passenger cruisers, military patrols, the busy traffic of a civilization that stretched across dozens of worlds. "You'll leave someday." Leon blinked. The sudden seriousness in her voice surprised him. "What?" Lyra stared upward. "Humans don't stay on Alindra forever." He sat quietly. His father often talked about moving. Work contracts ended. New opportunities appeared. Nothing lasted forever. "We might." Her ears lowered slightly. "You don't sound convinced." Leon looked away. He wasn't. The silence stretched between them. For once, there were no jokes, no pranks, no plans, only a feeling neither child fully understood. Finally, Lyra stood. Her serious expression vanished instantly. "I have an idea." Leon narrowed his eyes. "That's never good." "We sneak into the royal archives." "No." "We borrow a star map." "No." "We find hidden treasure." "No." "We become space pirates." Leon stood. "Definitely no." Lyra grinned. "You're no fun. And you're a disaster." She offered her hand. He rolled his eyes but took it. Together they started walking back toward the palace. Neither noticed the elderly royal advisor watching from a distant balcony. His expression remained troubled. Far beyond Alindra, political tensions were already beginning to spread through neighboring systems. Ancient alliances were shifting, powerful empires were making plans, and forces neither child could imagine were already moving pieces across the galaxy. But on that peaceful evening, none of that mattered. Two friends laughed as they walked beneath glowing trees. Neither knew how little time they had left together. The royal archives were located 300 meters beneath the palace. According to every official document, they were impossible to enter without authorization. According to Princess Lyra, that simply meant nobody had tried hard enough. "This is a terrible idea." "You always say that." Because your ideas are terrible. They're memorable. Leon stared at the enormous security door. The metallic surface shimmered with quantum encryption patterns. Tiny streams of data flowed across it like rivers of light. 3 security drones hovered nearby. A biometric scanner guarded the entrance. 2 military-grade defense turrets watched the corridor. Leon folded his arms. See all that? Yes, that's the universe telling us no, Lyra smiled. Or it's a challenge. Normal people don't hear challenges from security systems. The young princess approached the scanner. A moment later, the machine glowed green. Access granted. The massive door slid open. Leon blinked. You have authorization? Of course. You made it sound like we were breaking in. I wanted the adventure. Leon sighed. One day she would become queen. The thought was terrifying. Inside, the archives stretched farther than he could see. Towering shelves filled with glowing data crystals reached toward the ceiling. Thousands of floating holographic screens drifted through the air. Ancient records from centuries of interstellar history rested inside the enormous chamber. Leon couldn't help staring. Even after years on Alindra, moments like this still amazed him. Entire civilizations could fit inside these archives. Every discovery, every war, every scientific breakthrough, every royal secret. Don't touch anything, Leon said. Lyra immediately touched something. A hologram exploded into existence. The image of a stern elderly scholar appeared above them. Welcome to the Royal Historical Database. The scholar adjusted his glasses. Then his eyes narrowed. Princess Lyra. Hello? You are banned. Leon looked at her. Banned? It was one time. The hologram turned toward him. It was 17 times. Ah, the scholar continued. On the most recent occasion, Her Highness attempted to teach a maintenance robot how to gamble. Lyra looked proud. It became very good at it. The hologram sighed. 3 historians lost their salaries. Leon laughed. The scholar disappeared while muttering something about retirement. The deeper they explored, the older the records became. Eventually, they reached a restricted section. A golden barrier blocked the passage. Lyra's expression brightened. Oh, no. Oh, yes. No. Definitely yes. Leon rubbed his forehead. What is wrong with normal hallways? Why do all dangerous places have to look mysterious? Because beyond the barrier stood a massive crystal structure, unlike anything else in the archive. Its surface pulsed with strange symbols, ancient symbols, older than the kingdom itself, older than most civilizations in known space. Even Lyra became quiet. What is that? Leon stepped closer. The symbols shifted, moving like living light beneath the crystal. Neither child recognized the language, yet something about it felt important, almost unsettling. A nearby terminal activated, warning precursor artifact authorized access only? Leon frowned. Precursors? The ancient civilization fascinated scientists across the galaxy. Nobody knew exactly who they were, only that they had existed thousands of years ago and left impossible technology behind. Technology far beyond modern understanding. Lyra stared at the crystal, then grinned. I want to touch it. Absolutely not. I'll be careful. You once accidentally started a palace evacuation. That wasn't my fault. You opened an emergency portal. I was curious. You opened it in the kitchen. Everyone survived. Leon pointed at the artifact. You're not touching the mysterious ancient alien object. Lyra crossed her arms. You never let me have fun. A sudden voice interrupted them. Because one of us has common sense. They turned. An elderly advisor stood behind them. Advisor Saran, one of the few people in the palace capable of frightening Lyra. The princess immediately smiled. Hello, Your Highness? We were just leaving. You've been saying that for 4 years. Leon tried not to laugh. Saran's gaze shifted toward the crystal. His expression darkened. For a brief moment, genuine concern appeared in his eyes. Some things are best left undisturbed. The The seriousness in his voice surprised both children. The advisor rarely sounded afraid, but now he did. And before either of them could ask why, distant alarms suddenly echoed through the archive. Not prank alarms, not maintenance alerts, real alarms. The kind that made even Saran turn toward the ceiling. Something unexpected had happened somewhere above the palace, and judging from the advisor's expression, it was very bad. The alarm did not behave like a normal alarm. It didn't simply ring. It argued. The sound twisted through the archive like it was trying to convince the building to panic. Holograms flickered, floating data crystals spun in nervous circles. Even the security drones paused mid-air as if reconsidering their life choices. Leon looked at Lyra. Lyra looked at the crystal. The crystal looked back at them. "I think it noticed me," she said. "That's not how objects work," Leon replied. "It blinked. It doesn't have eyes. It has vibes." Before Leon could respond, the golden barrier around the artifact cracked with a sound like reality skipping a frame. The symbols inside the crystal stopped drifting and aligned into a single pattern. A very rude pattern, Leon thought, though he couldn't explain why. Advisor Saran stepped forward immediately. "No one move." Lyra moved. "I said no one." "I was just adjusting my balance," she said. The crystal pulsed once. The archive lights dimmed. Then every hologram in the room displayed the same message. "Observation confirmed." Leon frowned. "That sounds bad." "It is bad," Saran said quietly. "We are leaving." "Leaving where?" Lyra asked. "Everywhere near this room." The floor beneath them vibrated, not violently. More like the planet had suddenly remembered it was part of a larger system and felt embarrassed. Leon felt the air change pressure. "Is it supposed to do that?" he asked. Saran grabbed both of them by the shoulders. "Run!" "That's not an explanation. It is the only one you get." They ran. Behind them, the crystal structure unfolded, not breaking, not exploding, unfolding, like a thought deciding it had been too small for too long. Corridors of light extended outward, threading through the archive. Data crystals dissolved into streams of glowing code that flowed upward into nowhere. Lyra laughed as they ran. "This is amazing. This is terrifying." Same thing. A security drone tried to intercept them and immediately reversed direction. "I think even the drones are confused," Leon said. "They're unionizing," Lyra replied. "That's not. Never mind." A portal opened at the end of the corridor. Saran shoved them toward it. "Through!" Leon skidded to a stop. "That's a glowing hole in reality." "Yes. That's not comforting." "No one is comfortable during historical emergencies." Lyra grabbed Leon's hand. "You trust me?" "No." "Perfect." She jumped. He followed immediately, because refusing at that point felt physically impossible. The world folded. For a moment, Leon experienced being in 17 places at once. One version of him was screaming. Another was oddly impressed by the lighting. A third was wondering if he had left the stove on at home, which made no sense because he didn't have a stove. Then everything snapped. He landed hard on metal flooring. Lyra landed on top of him. "Soft landing," she said. "You are not a cushion. You are now." Saran arrived a second later, less gracefully, and immediately checked the environment. They were no longer in the archive. The air was colder. Stars visible through a fractured dome above them shimmered in unfamiliar constellations. A distant siren echoed through what looked like an abandoned orbital station. Leon slowly sat up. "Where are we?" Saran stared at the horizon. "That," he said carefully, "is a very old question." Lyra stood and brushed herself off. "I like it here." "We are stranded in unknown space," Leon said. "Yes," she said, "but it has better lighting than the archive." A distant mechanical voice echoed through the station. "Welcome, unregistered organisms," Leon sighed. "Oh good, it talks," the voice continued. "Please do not panic." "I was not panicking," Leon said immediately. "It was our rude." Lyra raised a hand. "Hello? Hello, Princess Lyra of Alindra." Leon froze. "It knows you." "I'm popular," she said. Saran's expression darkened. "That is not supposed to be possible." The station lights flickered again. Precursor transfer event complete. Leon looked at Lyra. Did we just get moved? I think we got upgraded, she said. I don't want to be upgraded. A pause. Then the voice added, one subject has been designated. Human. Status. Indeterminate. Behavior. Classification. Problematic, but interesting. Leon pointed upward. I object to that classification. Objection noted and ignored. Lyra laughed so hard she nearly fell again. Saran, however, was not laughing. This changes everything, he said. Leon looked around the ancient station, the broken stars, the impossible technology waking up around them. Yeah, he said, it kinda does. The station did not like silence. Leon realized this when the walls began humming softly, whenever nobody spoke. So, he said quickly, if we just don't talk, it gets louder? Correct, the station replied instantly. Leon sighed. I regret asking. Lyra walked in a slow circle, tapping panels with casual curiosity. Reacts to attention. Everything reacts to attention, Saran muttered. That is the problem. A panel lit up under Lyra's fingertip. The station responded immediately. Interaction log. Princess Lyra. Status. Recognized favorite. Leon blinked. You're a favorite? I have a friendly personality, she said. You hacked a royal defense grid when you were 9. I was expressing creativity. The station chimed again. Creativity confirmed. Saran pinched the bridge of his nose. We are not negotiating with an ancient machine that is emotionally biased. Leon looked up. Is it emotionally biased? Yes, the station answered proudly. Of course it is, Leon said. Lyra leaned toward a glowing corridor that had not existed a moment earlier. It's opening doors for me. Don't follow the doors, Saran warned. Why? Because nothing that opens itself in deep space is ever polite. The corridor widened anyway, as if offended. Leon pointed. It looks offended. I am not offended, the station said. Then why are you yelling? I am not yelling. The corridor lit up brighter. Saran stepped back. This is precursor logic. Emotional state influences architecture, odyssey. Leon frowned. So it's moody architecture? Yes. That's worse than regular architecture. Lyra already walked inside. Come on, she called. It's showing me something. Do not encourage it, Saran shouted. Leon hesitated. The corridor pulsed. Then, softly, please follow Princess Lyra. She is correct. Leon blinked. That is the first time I've heard a building endorse someone's decision. Saran looked deeply tired. You are enjoying this too much. I am not enjoying this, Leon said. I am terrified and slightly impressed. That is enjoyment. Inside the corridor, the air shifted, not physically, conceptually. Leon suddenly felt like he was being observed from several angles that did not exist in space. Okay, he said, I don't like the angles. Lyra stopped in front of a floating structure made of shifting light. It resembled a map, except it mapped things that didn't stay still. Stars moved, folded, reappeared somewhere else entirely. That's not a map, Leon said. It's a conversation, Lyra replied. The station confirmed. Correct. Saran stepped forward reluctantly. This is a precursor navigation lattice. And it talks? Leon asked. Everything here talks, Saran said grimly. The lattice pulsed once, then displayed a single image, a throne, a crown, and a human silhouette standing beside Lyra. Leon pointed at himself. Why am I an ancient alien furniture art? You are a variable, the station said. I don't like being a variable. You have no choice. Lyra tilted her head. It likes you. That is not comforting, the station continued. Galactic alignment event initiated. Saran stiffened. That phrase should not exist in active systems. Leon stepped back. What does it mean? Lyra answered first. Unusually quiet. It means something big is waking up. The corridor lights dimmed. For the first time, the station's voice lost its playful tone. Political entanglement detected. Leon groaned. Of course it's political. Saran turned sharply. If this technology is influencing current empires, it already is, Lyra said. Silence followed. Even the station did not interrupt. Then, gently, Princess Lyra, you are required to return to origin point. Lyra frowned. That sounds like home. It sounds like command, Saran corrected. Leon looked between them, and if she doesn't, a pause. The station answered. Conflict probability, extreme. Leon exhaled slowly. Great, so we found ancient alien technology that thinks my childhood friend is a political key, and I am a variable. Lyra smiled faintly. That sounds important. It sounds like I want to sit down and pretend none of this happened. The station responded instantly. Seating arrangement available. A chair formed behind him. Leon stared at it. That's actually tempting. Saran grabbed his arm. Do not sit in the thinking chair of a possibly sentient precursor civilization. Leon nodded. Fair advice. Honestly. The station hummed again, softer now. Warning. External forces approaching current location. Lyra looked up sharply. Leon sighed. I assume that means more people who are not going to like any of this. Saran nodded once. Yes. Leon rubbed his face. I miss cleaning drones. At least they were honest about their intentions. The external forces arrived with the confidence of people who had never been told no by reality. Leon knew they were arriving because the station began sighing, a long mechanical sigh. I don't like that sound, he said. You should not hear that sound, Saran replied immediately. Lyra tilted her head. Is the station tired? No, the station said weakly. That was definitely a tired no, Leon muttered. The lattice chamber dimmed as if lowering its own expectations of life. Outside, through fractured viewing panels, ships began to emerge from folded space. Not one, not two. A disciplined fleet. Saran's expression hardened. Elindran Military Response Units. Leon squinted. Why do they look like they've been sharpened? They are ceremonial warships, Saran said. They are designed to intimidate diplomacy itself. That's very on-brand for politics. Lyra stepped closer to the glass. They came fast. They always do when precursor signals activate, Saran replied. Leon pointed at himself. So just to confirm, I am currently standing in the middle of an ancient alien machine that summoned a royal fleet because I exist? Correct, the station said. I hate accuracy. A new voice cut through all channels. Unauthorized anomalous site detected. This is the Elindran Crown Authority. Power down immediately. Leon flinched. That voice sounds like someone who practices being disappointed. Lyra raised her hand and waved at the air. Hello, Princess Lyra. The voice responded instantly, dropping half its aggression out of sheer instinct. Leon stared. She has diplomatic immunity just by existing. It is a burden, Lyra said solemnly. It is not a burden, the voice corrected itself, trying to recover its seriousness. The station spoke again, louder this time. External entities classified, interruptive. Saran stepped forward. Do not escalate. I am not escalating, the station replied. You are absolutely escalating, Leon said. Outside, the fleet began forming a containment ring around the station. Leon watched as weapon systems unfolded like mechanical flowers. They're surrounding us. Yes, Saran said. That feels like a bad metaphor for diplomacy. Lyra turned away from the window. They're afraid. Leon frowned. Of what? She glanced at the glowing lattice behind them. Of that. The station pulsed in agreement. Correct. Leon pointed at himself again. Why is nobody afraid of me? I feel like I'm the most reasonable thing here. Saran answered instantly. You are statistically irrelevant in galactic politics. Rude, but fair. A transmission arrived. This time it was not official. It was personal. A second voice, younger, sharper. Lyra, step away from the anomaly. Leon blinked. Who's that? Lyra hesitated. Saran's eyes narrowed slightly. Prince Kale. Leon leaned toward Lyra. That sounds like someone who should be calmer than he sounds. He is not calm, Lyra admitted. Understatement noted. Kyle's voice continued. You are endangering the treaty. You are endangering the alliance. You are endangering everything we built. Leon whispered. He sounds like a spreadsheet with feelings. Lyra didn't smile this time. The station noticed. Emotional tension detected, it said cheerfully. Please don't comment on that, Leon said. The lattice suddenly projected an image again, the throne, the crown, and now multiple silhouettes around it, conflicting, overlapping futures. Saran stiffened. That is predictive governance mapping. Leon frowned. So it guesses the future? It calculates likely political outcomes, Saran said. And what does it say? Silence. Even the station hesitated. Then, multiple outcomes result in systemic collapse. Leon exhaled. That's not a good sentence. Lyra stepped closer to the projection. Because of me? The station answered softly. Because of Choice Point. Lyra. Leon looked at her. For once, she wasn't joking. Outside, the fleet tightened formation. Kale's voice came again, lower now. Lyra, I am ordering you to return, Leon muttered. He's doing the I am calm voice. That's always dangerous. Lyra finally spoke into the channel. I can't. A pause. The fleet stopped moving. Even the station seemed to hold its breath. Saran whispered, You've just altered diplomatic equilibrium. Leon replied, She says that like she's ordering lunch. Lyra added, slightly softer, Not yet. Kale didn't respond immediately. When he did, his voice had changed. Then we have a problem. Leon sighed. Of course we do. The station lit up again. Problem classification updated. Imminent galactic fracture. Leon rubbed his face. I'm starting to think this place exaggerates. The station responded instantly. No. A beat. Yes. Leon nodded slowly. At least it's honest about its confusion. Outside, the first warning shot fired, not at them, but into space itself. A demonstration of power so careful, it felt like a threat wearing perfume. Lyra watched it, then looked at Leon, and smiled slightly. I think they're going to make this difficult. Leon sighed. That is the most unnecessary understatement of the year. The station chimed. One last time. Recommendation. Do not panic. Leon stared upward. I feel like that recommendation is late. The station decided it had had enough of diplomacy. Leon noticed this when gravity briefly forgot what it was supposed to do. Everyone lifted half a centimeter off the floor, then returned, then lifted again, as if the station was practicing. Is it breathing? Leon asked. It is recalibrating local physics, Saran said tightly. That sounds worse than breathing. Lyra, meanwhile, was floating slightly to the left, laughing. This is fun. It is not fun, Saran said. Nothing about this is fun. A soft tone echoed through the chamber. Adaptive response initiated, Leon pointed upward. I don't like the word adaptive in anything that affects gravity. Outside, the fleet held position. Kale's ships no longer fired warning shots. Instead, they hovered in a perfect geometric ring, like they were waiting for someone to admit something. Leon didn't like that kind of waiting. The lattice behind them shifted again. The throne image fractured, then reassembled with additional layers, new possibilities stacking like unstable architecture. Saran stared at it. It's accelerating. Is that bad? Leon asked. Saran didn't answer immediately. That was worse than an answer. Lyra stepped closer. It wants me to choose something. The station responded instantly. Correct. Leon frowned. Why is everything always about her choices? I'm standing right here. I could also choose things. Your choices have low impact weight, the station said politely. Leon sighed. I feel personally attacked by math. A new structure formed within the lattice, not a throne this time. A bridge between two collapsing futures. Saran's voice lowered. That is an alignment pathway. Leon squinted. That sounds like a fancy way of saying, we hope this doesn't explode. It is exactly that, Saran said. Outside, Kale's voice returned, sharper. Lyra, final warning. Leon muttered. He really commits to tone changes. Lyra didn't respond immediately. Instead, she reached out and touched the lattice again. The station reacted instantly. Warning, direct interface in progress. Leon grabbed her arm. You are touching reality's suggestion box again. It likes me, she said. That is not a qualification for touching ancient alien systems. The moment her fingers made contact, the station went quiet, not silent, focused. Then it spoke. Query accepted, Leon blinked. That sounds like a bad idea forming in real time. Saran stepped forward. Stop the interaction. Interaction is required, the station replied. Lyra turned her head slightly. Required for what? Stabilization of choice matrix, Leon groaned. Why does everything sound like paperwork in space? The lattice expanded, projecting not just one future, but hundreds, thousands, each one branching from Lyra's decision. Leon suddenly saw himself in some of them. In one, he was standing beside Lyra on a throne that looked like it was built out of light and bad political decisions. In another, he was running a repair shop and refusing to answer any calls from galaxies. In another, he was screaming while being chased by diplomatic paperwork that had turned into physical objects. He blinked. Okay, I officially dislike future possibilities. Saran pointed at the projections. These are collapse vectors, Lyra whispered. They all break. The station answered softly. Yes. A pause. Unless resolved. Outside, Kale's voice softened slightly. Lyra, you are not alone in this. Leon frowned. That sounded less threatening. Lyra closed her eyes briefly, then opened them. I know. Leon looked at her. That sounded like a problem. It is, she said. The lattice pulsed again. A new message formed. Primary resolution path, human variable. Leon froze. Oh no. Saran turned slowly toward him. Do not panic. I am being labeled again. I am panicking correctly. The station added cheerfully. You are central to resolution. Leon pointed at himself. Why me? I fix broken ships and occasionally argue with vending machines. You introduce unpredictability. That is not a skill. It is now. Lyra stepped closer to him. For the first time, she wasn't smiling. Leon, she said quietly, it wants you involved. Leon stared at the collapsing futures. I don't like being wanted by ancient space intelligence. The station responded, too late. A deep vibration spread through the station. Outside, the fleet began moving again, not toward attack, toward alignment. Kale's voice returned, now uncertain. What is happening? Leon looked at Lyra, then at Saran, then at the impossible futures unfolding around them. He sighed. I think, he said, we just became someone else's diplomatic solution. The station hummed in agreement. Correct, Leon groaned. I miss cleaning drones. The station stopped trying to optimize reality the moment Leon shouted at it. Can everyone just stop making me the central component of galactic destiny for 5 seconds? For a brief, beautiful moment, everything obeyed. Even the fleet outside froze mid-alignment. Even Saran blinked, like he wasn't sure whether that counted as a valid diplomatic strategy. The station replied softly, pause accepted. Leon exhaled. Thank you. Lyra smiled faintly. You yelled at an ancient precursor intelligence. I yell at broken vending machines too. It's transferable skills. The lattice behind them stabilized, no longer collapsing into infinite futures. Instead, it settled into a single, steady configuration, like a storm deciding it was tired. Saran stepped closer, studying it. It's resolving. Because I told it to behave, Leon said. That is not how cosmic systems work. Apparently, it is today. Outside, Kale's voice returned, but different now, less rigid, less commanding. Lyra. We are seeing stabilization, Lyra answered gently. I know. A long silence followed. Then Kale said, you were right. Leon blinked. Did he just lose an argument with reality? Saran replied flatly. Yes. The station spoke again. Choice matrix resolved. The throne image dissolved. The crown shattered into light. The conflicting futures folded inward until only one remained. Lyra stepped forward. For a moment, Leon thought she might disappear into it. Instead, she turned. I'm not returning as a symbol, she said. The station processed this. Clarification required. I'm returning as myself, Leon snorted. That sounds like something that causes paperwork. Saran, surprisingly, let out a small breath that might have been a laugh. It will cause centuries of paperwork. The fleet outside shifted again, but this time it wasn't aggressive. It was reorganizing, like a conversation finding a better tone. Kale's voice came through one last time. Then we proceed differently. Lyra smiled. Yes. Leon leaned toward Saran. Is that it? No war? No galaxy exploding? Saran nodded slowly. No war. Leon frowned. That feels suspiciously convenient. The station responded immediately. Correct outcome achieved. Leon sighed. I don't trust anything that says correct outcome like that. The station continued, softer now. Variable human contribution, successful. Leon pointed upward. I'm still not comfortable being labeled like software. Lyra stepped closer to him. You helped. I yelled. You changed things. I complained professionally. She laughed, and somehow that felt like the real resolution of everything. Outside, the fleet began to withdraw, not defeated, not victorious, just recalibrated. Saran looked at Lyra. The treaty will survive. Lyra nodded, but not unchanged. Saran glanced at Leon. And you. Leon pointed at himself. I'm going back to fixing my ship and pretending none of this happened. The station added, unlikely. Excuse me? Your life trajectory has permanently altered. Leon groaned. Of course it has. Lyra tilted her head. You could stay. Leon blinked. That sounds like a trap. It's not, she said, softly. He looked at her, really looked, this time. Not the royal future, not the political symbol, just the girl who once released cleaning drones into a banquet and laughed like the universe was optional. He sighed. I don't want a throne. I know. I don't want a war. I know. I don't want to be a variable. You already are, Saran said. Leon pointed at him. You're not helping. Saran shrugged. I am being accurate. Leon looked up at the fading lattice, then back at Lyra. Fine, he said, but I'm not becoming part of galactic destiny full-time. I have maintenance schedules. Lyra smiled. Agreed. The station hummed gently. New configuration accepted, and for the first time, it sounded almost satisfied. Sometime later, the archive, the station, and the fleet no longer reacted to crisis-level probabilities. They reacted to negotiation. Bad jokes were added to diplomatic protocols after Leon accidentally caused 3 ceasefires by confusing both sides with sarcasm. Lyra became queen without becoming distant. She ruled with open curiosity, occasionally still arguing with drones when bored. Kale became something unexpected, not a rival, but an ally who insisted Leon was statistically unbearable and meant it as respect. Saren retired twice. Both times failed. And Leon? Leon went back to space. His ship still insulted him. He still argued back. But sometimes, when the stars aligned in strange ways, he would receive messages from Alindra that simply read, choice, stable. And he would reply, still hate paperwork. The galaxy never quite settled into its old shape again, but it stopped breaking, and somewhere between ancient precursors, royal politics, and one extremely tired human, that was enough.